What's happening, ladies and germs? This is the Packerman, and this is something that's kind of coming out of the blue, but this is something that I've really got to get off my chest here. Over the past couple of hours, I've been kind of just sitting and reflecting on things a little bit in regards to basically, for lack of a better term, my behavior during this past week during the Banger Winter Nationals. And needless to say, my attitude and my general conduct has been, well, awful. Not exactly sure how or where to begin describing this, but I mean, I've always been a shoot from the hip kind of guy, and I've been told in the past that sometimes I can be really brutally honest, sometimes a little too brutally honest at times. But that's always been the sort of person I've been. I've always been a no frills, no bullshit kind of guy. And one thing I also am is I can be a bit too competitive at times. And sometimes that competitiveness can be a bit toxic. And after taking some time to reflect on everything that's gone down this week, I'm not very happy with myself and the way I've conducted myself. I've honestly been a little bit of an asshole. I mean, that's usually my default mode, but I mean, honestly, I probably was a bit too much so this time around. Let's just say there were some things that were said this week that, looking back on now, I wish I didn't say. And there are things that I wish I didn't do. Hell, earlier today, I got, well, might as well say, I got a little bit irritated, to say the least, in a practice race with Redneck Justice. And he basically said on Facebook that I was big mad. Maybe I was. Maybe I was a bit. I'm not going to say mad because, if you've watched my race reviews in the past, you'll know when I'm mad as a hatter, basically. Because, although I guess in that case it would be more. It's trading into the territory of psychotic, now that I think about it. But, yeah, maybe I was a bit mad in that case. And looking back on it now, I really shouldn't have been. But, truth be told, it's just been a pretty rough week, I guess you could say. I haven't been really feeling all that good this week. Of course, having to work through it for about 7 hours a day with a bum leg and um, occasional migraine headaches, which are not fun, by the way, can make someone such as myself a little bit testy. And why do I have a bum leg? Well, I think I might have strained something in the back of my leg, and it's not exactly fun to walk on or stand on for 7 hours. Even though I do get breaks, but you get the idea. Standing on it for long periods of time and just having to, put weight on it, and it's just sore all the time. It's not fun, and that can wear on you mentally a little bit. And admittedly, that I think that kind of played into it a little bit. It's no excuse, but it is an explanation for what it's worth. But yeah, there were some times when I definitely got frustrated during the week. I mean, especially when I was doing well in certain points. When it looked like I was actually going to contend, for, the win, as it were, because that's really when my super competitive nature takes over, and when stuff goes down, which, I mean, I know that it's part of the deal. It's what we signed up for. As my cat walks across my chest. Come on, watch out. Watch out. Yes, I'm talking to you. Come on. You silly ass. But yeah, as he bumps the microphone with his head. Alright, come on. I'm a little busy right now. I'll play with you later. But I guess some of the frustration stemmed from the fact that, I felt like I was a contender, and then when shit happened, which all of it was legal, I mean, let's be honest here, it was frustrating. Because it felt like I was within reach of, I guess, victory in that sort of sense. And you don't really win anything from, well, I mean, you don't really get anything from, winning these league races. But I mean, other than, how do I describe this? Other than the satisfaction, elation, excitement, adrenaline, kind of all compiled into a giant ball of excitement. It's cool to experience that, to feel those, I guess you could say, endorphin rushes. I mean, it's pretty thrilling, to do stuff like that, especially when you're up against very competitive and very talented drivers in this game. But when you're in position to stand on the top of the mountain and then you get knocked down like that, it can be pretty frustrating. And there were times when I let my emotion get the best of me, and honestly, it is something that I really need to work on. Because I look back on some of the things that were said and done, and overall, I'm just not really happy with how I've conducted myself this week. And then there was another thing that I said that afterwards, it really, I really regret bringing it up, and it's probably something I'll never do again. But I remember yesterday, well, actually not yesterday, it would be 2 days ago now at the time that we're being recorded. But I remember prematurely saying that Kyle was going to win the championship. And the reason why I said it is because I was basically playing the odds. I mean, the record speaks for itself that Kyle, he's one of the best in the game. I mean, there's just no question about it. I mean, who else can hang with Warbird and Stanby as consistently as he has? When those two are basically two of the best at this game in the entire world. You know what I mean? And who better to hang with them than him? I mean, he's proved it time and time again. So, I mean, with his track record, I figured, he's probably going to win himself another title. And then he didn't. And it honestly makes me feel like I jinxed him. And it really makes me wish I would have just kept my mouth shut. So that's probably something else that I'm going to change about myself participating in these events going forward is I'm probably not going to speak all that much, I guess you could say, unless it's like important shit or, my usual exclamations of, holy shit moments and stuff like that. But, I mean, if shit happens at this point. I mean, it's it's just something that I really want to try to change because it's after reflecting on it the past couple hours, I've come to the realization that I just don't like how I've conducted myself this week. And a couple other things that I'm probably going to change. I mean, usually I'm the guy that, basically started doing the, white flag presented by Credit One Bank, when I first joined WRP. It's kind of like a little, running gag because, that's what NASCAR has. Now the Fox broadcasts and NBC broadcasts do it where it's the white flag, although they do sponsored by Credit One Bank. I do presented by Credit One Bank. I mean, it's the same difference. But, I've come to the realization that maybe it's time to lay that to rest. I mean, the joke has long since passed its expiration date. And I've come to realize that. I mean, I haven't really been doing it as much lately. And I've come to the realization that maybe it's time to put it to bed as well. So I'll probably just, continue to say, like white flag or something like that, like you would normally do. But, I think I'm just going to, I guess, retire the presented by Credit One Bank bit because, I mean, it's, as I said, it's long past its expiration date at this point. So that's, I think, pretty much it. And if there were some people that I did kind of rub the wrong way at some point this week, directly or indirectly, intentionally or unintentionally, I do want to apologize. It's not who I am, and it's not who I want to be. It's just when you have a competitive nature like I do, it can be kind of difficult to separate. How do I put this? It can be kind of difficult to separate the competitive side from the human side, I guess. Or maybe the conscious side from the competitive side. Maybe that's a better way to put it. And sometimes the competitive side wins out. And, there are times when I've let myself... there are times when I've expressed my frustration. And, and even though I've always been a shoot from the hip kind of guy, I've come to the realization that maybe during, WRP events and stuff like that, maybe I should rein it back in a little bit. So that'll be something that I'm going to try to start doing going forward. So, I mean, I'm still going to, do like wily banter and, jokes and, that sort of thing. Stuff, that, gets people laughing. You know what I mean? That's what I want to do. Because I still want to make, entertaining content on my channel. I do this shit for funsies, and, I want to try to make funny, entertaining shit. That was the original purpose of YouTube anyways. If I'm not mistaken. So, that's something I'm going to try to change going forward. That sounds cliche, but, I'm actually a person who legitimately gives a shit. So, I guess that makes me a little wee bit different in that regard. I don't know. But anyways, that's all I wanted to say. No, it's a little bit on the late side. It's almost 2 a.m., but, I needed to get it off my chest. After taking a shower and kind of reflecting on things, I realized that this is some things that really needed to be said. So, that's all I really wanted to say. If there was anybody listening to this, great. If not, it is what it is. At least it's off my chest, and hopefully I can move on and move forward and look forward to next week, which I am looking forward to next week because there's a lot of cool stuff coming up. So that's going to do it. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you probably on Sunday after the Phoenix race for my race review.